about general business knowledge, let's talk a little bit about team. So what is, I mean, again, understanding what is the preferred kind of investment, but also as a matter of facts of life, full-time employees versus contractors offshore. What is more favorable? What is your personal?
Yeah, I mean, this fits into that last category, business management, in terms of this roadmap that we like to work through. Your question specifically, again, it's always going to depend on the business and how they operate. Full transparency, one of my companies is an offshore staffing business out of the Philippines, and I'm personally a huge believer in the geo arbitrage play. I think that there's really great talent that are going to cost you significantly less in other geographies. You're not going to be able to, in my experience, build every single role that you would want to have fit in your company. But I have over 100 people full-time in my group of businesses working for our business. And, 95% of them would be Filipino. So I would say that building the right processes, systems, accountability charts, and having very clear metrics across your business is what actually allows you to create much higher degree of effectivity in working with high value, low cost talent. So it comes down to your degree of maturity as an operator and experience. But if you get that right and you have the right SOPs, and I'm not talking about, for us, like I'm not talking about VAs that do data entry and scraping and all of that nonsense. I'm talking about like dedicated client success managers and middle management and, a head of, a director of client engagement and operations managers and project managers and creative directors and designers. Like I'm talking about serious roles. Everything that we do, all of our stuff is Filipino powered. But the reason why we're able to do that is because we're building clear accountability and organizational charts and running on methodologies like the entrepreneurial operating EOS that enable us to run with people in all regions and geographies. So just coming back to it, like my preference is I want to push the envelope as far as I can to pay the least that I can, and we pay, I'm paying fair wages here. I think our team are probably some of the most well-paid people in the Philippines, but it's still a far cry from what it would cost me to hire someone here in Israel or in the US, especially when you start to bring on like the very heavy taxes that you pay here on top of all of that, and the compliance components that go into working with local geographies.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's a challenge building a business and hiring locally, even though we want to do that as much as possible. It's just as a price tag, and you just have to sit down and calculate. It's like just like any other investment you're making. One thing that I heard you say is having clear guidelines, SOPs. Those are things that you not say. In other words, you can't just be expected to go hire somebody and then leave them alone and then just tell them what to do every now and then. It's not really the way to do it. You need to have defined ways of training them, bringing them up to speed, monitoring their performance, as well as collaborating with them with the online tools, and so that where their time is spent.